Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. As promised, I said I would be coming to you today. We're going to be talking about having a discussion that is with the post-election. I asked a few of the brethren to come on to speak with me. I should be expecting two guests later on. They do have my guest link, and I'm pretty sure they've been on before, and they shouldn't have no problem connecting. But before I bring them on, I've been speaking with State Senator Dave Wallace. Um, he's the he sits on the committee as it relates to the coronavirus uh, fund relief, and so I'm going to be bringing him on first to let him go ahead and speak to us about exactly what status or where we at as it relates to the funding. And so that's what I'm going to be bringing him on for today. Of course, we might try to sneak in a question or two that perhaps maybe he can answer as it relates to the funding that is the coronavirus funding. He pretty much will tell you exactly what's the nuts and bolts of that funding, and also you might want to ask him if you choose to, because we're going to be speaking about talking about some economic things there in terms of criminal justice and economic justice. That's about basically what we're going to be talking about, the discussion I'm planning on having with the brethren. And so that will be later on. But meanwhile, as we move through, um, the discussions as it relates to coronavirus, fund relief, um, I will let him go ahead and go ahead and update you in regards to exactly where we at on that funding. So without any further ado, I want to go ahead and bring on Arkansas State Senator Mr. Dave Wallace. How you doing there, Senator Wallace?
Sir, I'm doing very well. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, I'm doing well myself. I know that we pretty much been working with your your Wi-Fi there for us trying to get connected, and so we just ask that the people bear with us. It may be a little freezing on your part, but your voice actually is what we need, and so your voice sound loud and clear. But just real quickly, if you will, for those that who might not know you, go ahead and just give tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your position as it relates to you know the office that you hold. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll move into the discussion.
Sure, Tony. I'm the state senator of District 22, and 22 District 22 makes up of all of Mississippi County, all of Poinsett County, and the part of Creekhead, which is Lake City East.
Uh-huh.
So basically east of Creekhead, plus Bay, Arkansas.
All right, and I imagine you've been sitting in that position for a pretty good while now, huh?
Well, it has been 6 years. It's 90,000 people that I represent.
Okay. Well, glad to have you on, Senator Wallace, taking time out your busy schedule to come in and give us a update exactly on this coronavirus funding. Let me go ahead and pull up um, this report here. Got it somewhere here. I'm pretty sure. Want want to make sure that that is actually you can see that. Let me go back. Let me add it. Okay, now you can see that, correct? On my
Well, I have it
screen.
on my other screen.
Yeah. I
Follow
just
up on
want to
your
know if you
screen.
can see it on mine,
Yeah.
just for the audience and what I'm saying.
I,
I know you have yours,
yeah.
uh,
I
but
don't see
uh,
it.
but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move through. Slide one here. Um, I noticed how it's broken down into sections. Uh, one of one of the sections in this here that you can go through it all, but the main section on page one, as I scroll through it, I want you to talk a little bit about, on the Department of Commerce as you move through it, on page one there.
Sure. A little background. The CARES Act Steering Committee was developed in the early, late March, April, and it consists of 3 state senators, 3 state representatives. So you've got 6 legislators, and you got 9 other members. Those members
Okay, can I interrupt
are
you just for a minute? Senator Wallace, can I just interrupt you for a minute? Do you still have your cell phone
Yes,
on?
sir.
We're getting some backlash there. I mean, some feedback.
I do not.
Okay, how about a speaker? You're not close to a speaker or anything, are you?
No, I am not.
Okay, look like we're just getting just a little feedback. We'll just try to get through it. Okay, go ahead.
There's the 6 legislators that I had mentioned, 3 senators, 3 state representatives, and we have 9 other members. Those members are to the governor's cabinet, your Department of Finance, your Department of Commerce, DS, our Surgeon General for the state of Arkansas are examples of that. And together, we looked at various recommendations and allocated the money based on our judgment. And initially, there was 1.2 billion, that's with a B, dollars allocated to the state of Arkansas from the federal government.
All right.
And I give you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Some examples at the very top, just so the folks can see what I'm talking about. On your you've got the money that was allocated. I'm using my hand to point. I realize that you all can't see what I'm pointing at. But that very first line talks about the Department of Agriculture.
Okay, Department of Agriculture.
And early on, we were. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm just going to blow it up a
we were
little
worried
bit.
about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Senator
15
Wallace.
and 8.5. Yeah. Early on, we were worried about our food supply. That was one of the first worries we had because meat plants were shutting down all over the country. Now, fortunately, we didn't have that issue in Arkansas, but we allocated initially $50,000 and $5 million that was allocated to be sent to our meat plants, such as Tyson. But if you notice on the far right-hand side, we actually only used $854.23 of that.
Yeah, I'm
very
looking at
lucky in
that.
the state of Arkansas. We didn't have the situation where our packing plants were closed down. And that's just an example, but that gives you an idea of how the spreadsheet works.
All right, so
going down to the Department of Commerce.
okay,
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
Going down to the Department of Commerce.
All right, I'm there.
We knew early on that we had a problem with our small businesses. All the restaurants were closed down, or they were nearly closed down. Hotels, travel was closed down, and our economy could have fallen apart. I did in the state of Arkansas. In fact, Arkansas has done very, very well because our governor, as you recall, did not close down the state of Arkansas. We were one of the few businesses that did not close down, or a few states that didn't close down. But we created a program that gave business grants, and you can see there were four issues of that. The first one was 15 million, the second 85 million, and of course the third was 23 million. There was a fourth at 24 million, but we didn't use much of that. And that was all aimed at small businesses throughout all the state of Arkansas.
Okay, when you say small
Primarily that
business,
money was. Go ahead, sir.
I was just asking a question. When you say small businesses, are you talking about businesses that are registered with the Secretary of State, or I mean those would be the businesses that would be eligible, correct? Those that are registered with the Secretary of State.
The businesses that were registered with the Secretary of State.
All right, got it.
That's correct.
All right.
And that makes up a lot of the businesses in the state of Arkansas.
And that was 15 million plus another 24. You said. Well,
if you look on 429, we voted to give 15 million. 15 we followed up on the first day, the first day of May with another 85 million.
85 million.
About 23 million. Yeah, and you see the 23 million below that. That was 3 shots very quickly designed to help the small businesses with PPE to redesign their businesses to get, for example, restaurants in order to redesign where they can allow people to come back in. And it was aimed throughout the state. We had a fourth one that see the 24 million, but we end up only using 5 million of that, and so they've returned back right now that category.
Okay, when you say return the money back, does that money go back into, I guess for a better way of understanding, does that go back into the money pot, or what happened to that money if it's not spent?
Yeah, it goes back into a general pot that the CARES Committee has control of.
All right.
And if you here's an interesting one. If you look down at 615, again, the Department of Commerce, it shows the UI, which is unemployment IT monetization.
Okay,
we've had a real good. Yeah, you're right there. You're right there now.
Okay. Okay, now what section are we looking at?
We're looking at 615, the Department of Commerce, and that's the unemployment IT monetization. What happened? Our system, if you think back to April and May, we had so many people drawing or applying for unemployment that the system, frankly, was overwhelmed. And we ended up putting $5 million into that to beef up that system. Brought more people on board. We modernized, added more computers, redesigned our call-in, and that was a real struggle. And for weeks, if not months, our people, citizens of Arkansas, had difficulty getting through to talk with anybody about drawing the unemployment benefits. We fought through most of that, but that's been an ongoing fight.
And this money here is used for unemployment, you say?
Well, it was used, it's not used for unemployment, but it was used to modernize the workforce development office in order for them to be a better service to our citizens of Arkansas. More people working to answer the phone calls, in the call center, more lines, more overtime, things of that nature.
Okay. And
I see my good friend John Mayberry is online with us. Hi, John.
Okay, and that was $5 million, you say?
Yes, $5 million. We also allocated another $8,716,000 below that, but we did not use that. We didn't find a need to use that, and that money has been sent back again to the Cures Committee,
Uh-huh.
and that will be allocated to the next crisis that we see popping up.
All right. And from what I'm looking at on the bottom there, that in that same section there, so actually it was like $175 million that was allocated, and only $104 million. I guess that's what remains, right?
Well, Tony, 280 million was allocated.
Yeah,
The
280.
Department
Excuse
of
me,
Commerce
280.
used the Department of Commerce used 175 million, and then they returned 104,612,000.
Okay.
$104,612,537 to the Cures Committee.
Okay.
Going down, I'm going to go down the second page to point out some things for you.
Page 2.
Yeah, page 2. You'll see right off the bat, 6.3 Department of Corrections.
Uh-huh.
Early on in this crisis, we had a huge problem. The COVID virus managed to get inside our correction system.
Uh-huh.
We had to bring on not so much additional staff as we brought on additional healthcare workers in that area. And we also authorized hazardous pay for those individuals that were working within the correctional facility. And so you'll see an amount of $301,000 and another amount of $206,000.
Okay. Now, what is that additional money there, the $206,000?
That was again for, you see where it says WillPath? That was again
Yeah,
for
I see it.
additional.
Yeah, I see it now. I just found it.
Additional healthcare workers that we brought into the correction system to help with our prisoners, our inmates who were contacted coronavirus.
Let me stop you for a minute. Have you received many calls in terms of, speaking of the Department of Correction, have there been many inmates who tested positive for COVID? And if so, how serious was their health issues in regards to being tested positive?
Tony, I've got old data. I don't have current data, but the old data was that we had quite a few that tested positive. But what was interesting, and I think a lot of this is because of the age, the vast number of those have recovered completely. And again, if you think about our correction system, a lot of the men and women in there are young men and women, and they recover very well. It spread very quickly throughout our system. We had one barracks that 43 out of 48 total folks were positive. We saw the same thing in our nursing homes, sadly. In the nursing homes, those folks did not recover as well.
Oh boy. Hopefully, I pray things get better.
What I'm seeing over and over in our nursing homes, it only takes one positive case to come in. And when it does, it spreads very, very quickly throughout the facility.
Okay.
Going down to the Department of Education.
Okay, let me go down.
We have approved. Yeah, this is dated 8/17, and it's titled "Emergency COVID Leave for School Employees." And that's designed for our school employees who are there. They're on the front line working with our students, and some of those have come down with the COVID disease, the virus. And you look, there was 20 million allocated, and so far we've used $656,000 of that. That's basically paying the folks when they're off. It's covering their salary while they're off because they acquired that disease, made contact with that disease when they were teaching our students, our young children.
All right. Okay. That was education page 2.
Yeah. I'm strolling down. The bulk of our money that we received was aimed at 3 places. It was aimed at our health system, specifically our hospitals, our assisted living, and our nursing homes. We knew that was our most vulnerable members of society, and we sent a lot of money to our hospitals and to our nursing homes to help them with PPE, to help them reconfigure their facilities in order to fight the COVID virus.
Okay. Up here, go ahead.
And Tony, you had asked me a question earlier when we were offline. You and I talked about this. Give me 1 second. At the very top of page 3, you'll see where on 6/10/2020, we allocated to the Municipal League and Association of Counties $150 million. Now, that's $150 million that we have set aside for the cities and for the counties. Now, none of that has been distributed yet. That's still holding, but that money is designed to go to the cities and the counties, and part of it will be to help them recoup money that they've already spent, or to return it to them for the money they spent on PPE and other items used to fight this coronavirus.
Well, let me ask you a question on that. When you say, to help them go ahead and recoup some of the money, for as what they spend, for as extra money and they want to be reimbursed for. I saw a number, when they was giving out, they put the information in the paper, and they indicated just the city of Blythe alone was supposed to be getting something like a little over $600,000. Okay. Now, if they were supposed to be getting somewhat over $1,500,000, I'd like to know exactly, is it true that they will be getting a total of $600,000, or is it up to $600,000 in terms of reimbursing the city for money that they have spent?
Now, Tony, I don't know that answer. We allocated the money to the cities as a whole, to the counties as a whole, and the cities and the counties were told to apply. And I don't know what any of the towns applied or any of the counties applied for.
All right, I see we got Councilman Mayberry just come on, and
yeah, I see John.
You might want to share with him. Is it $150 million total that has been allocated for the municipalities?
Yes, and none of it has been spent yet. It's all out there, and cities and the counties in their process of applying for their share.
Okay, but no money has been dispersed to the municipalities yet, correct?
This was as of 6 October. This spreadsheet, 6 October. I've not received
Okay.
the new update, the monthly update yet. So as of 6th October, no money had been allocated.
And I imagine, just another question. I'm hoping someone else will have some questions other than myself. But when we speak of reimbursing the municipalities back for money that they have spent, is it is it is it mandated that those municipalities have to show somewhat proof of what money that they have spent to be
Yes.
reimbursed?
Yes, they're going to have to show proof of what they've spent fighting the coronavirus. For example, if they bought PPE, which obviously all our cities and towns did, and our counties did, that's one thing that would be reimbursed. So it's not going to be a case of a town saying, "Hey, we spent $300 or spent $50 here," to be reimbursed. The system will be looking for a receipt and invoice.
Okay. Now, and that money, in terms of reimbursement to the municipalities, um, that must have been money as it relates to the coronavirus, correct?
Yes, it has to relate to the coronavirus. It cannot go back to our that we had a year ago. It's got to be coronavirus related.
Okay. I see. I want to try to get Councilman before I allow you to go ahead on. I want to try to get Councilman Mayberry in here, but look like he got his mic on mute, and I want to send him a message to unmute his mic. Let me shoot him a message right now. Okay.
I'm unmuted,
I
but
see.
I'm getting
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Before I allow you to go ahead on. I want to try to get him on mute now. I get him. All right. All right. And I want to send him a message to unmute his mic. Looks like somebody got me recording there. Anyway, Councilman Mayberry, do you have your?
I'm unmuted.
Feedback. There you go. Okay. You go ahead on. I want to try to get him on mute now. I get him. All right. Well, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and do this mic real quick. I want to unmute his mic. All right, go ahead and proceed, Senator Wallace.
Going further down, the rest of that page 3.
All right, you need me to go down?
Yeah, just gives you an idea of the large amount of money that we have spent to our hospitals, a total of about $267 million.
Okay, now what section are we at right now?
I'm on the third page, and I'll give you as an example. If you go about 1/3 of the way down on 429, you'll see nursing facility payments. And we allocated $45 million to our nursing homes, which about 27 million has been spent, and there's another 18 million being held in reserve.
Okay.
Below that, on the 3rd of June, you can see where we, through DHS, allocated $109,600,000 for our hospitals, and that's to anything from PPE to new technology. What happened is before this started, we passed some laws 2 years ago that allowed for an increase in telemedicine. And we were lucky that we did, because it made it very easy for us to transition. And I think all of us know, who have been dealing with our doctors in our hospitals, there's a lot of telemedicine going on now. A lot of folks talking with their doctors and healthcare folks remotely.
What did it start? We put it in the color.
Uh-huh. Okay, did you want me to keep scrolling down? You want me to stay there?
Uh, I'm scrolling down some now with you.
Pardon me?
Go ahead, keep scrolling down, Tony.
All right. Okay, now we enter Park Heritage Tourism Department of Public Safety. Now we're going into page. I tell you what, let's stop right here at page. Actually, it's the last page, page 5. Can you talk a little bit about the PPE?
Yeah. We early on, just like every other state in the union, that we did not have enough PPE.
Uh-huh.
And we allocated $3.5 million to buy additional PPE. We've used up about 1.7 million of that. We've had remaining about 1.7 held back in case we have a second or third wave. So that's an ongoing problem. We're using enough PPE every day.
Okay. Well, look like we pretty much done got to the bottom of it. That's the last of the page 5. Is there any part
You
of
can
this
see.
report?
I'm sorry.
Is there any part of this report that you would like to really go ahead and that you feel that is very important? I know you spoke about the funding that was allocated mostly for the the medical section in terms of nursing homes and hospitals or what have you. You spoke of Department of Correction.
You look at Tony. If you look at the very bottom, we still have reserves set back. We've got $85 million. You're there right there now, set aside for any additional problems we're going to run into. In addition to that, we still have $489 million. If you scroll up just a little bit, Tony, scroll up a little bit. Now, if you stop right there and go to your right a little bit, you'll see a number of $658 million. That's money that we spent. That's money that's gone. We still have 489,706,402 that we still have. We have that in reserve. So we have that plus 85 million that show down below. So we've spent a little more than half so far getting through this crisis. So we're actually in pretty good shape, and we've got that setback just as we continue to stumble into things with this disease we just don't know about. So
Well,
that's important to know that we still have. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question here. Of this money that was spent, this 658 million, I don't know if you got anything on you. How much of that money was allocated, to the best of your knowledge, to Mississippi County?
Tony, I don't have that information at all. That was spread across the entire state. As an example, right above that, the Department of Veteran Affairs, that's a small number, but we allocated $45,647. That went to veterans across the state. We did not really focus on individual counties as we did the group of all counties of Arkansas.
Okay, now when this money come in, who's the designated person? Say like, if $50 million come into this area, who does Blythe go to, to receive? I mean, does they go to, is it EOC? Is it the airport? What do you call that group out there on base? Exactly, where's the holding sale of those fundings when they do come in? I mean, how are
Right.
those funds
Tony,
being dispersed?
primarily through all this, we kept the money funneled through the different state agencies. For example, if you go up on page 4,
All
you will
right.
see where we
Department of Human
about
Services.
2/3 of the way down, we sent $267 million to the Department of Human Services, DHS, and that money has gone throughout the state as they see the need. Some of it's going to our office in Blythe, some going to office in Poinsett County, some in Craig County. It's just allocated through the Little Rock office, the headquarters, to all the branches throughout the state.
Well, all right. Trying to see if we can get Councilman Mayberry to see if he got any kind of questions that he'd like to ask. Look like he got his mic mute again.
Tony, I got on this late, so I'm kind of still in the fog about everything that's going on.
Well, all right. Actually, just to bring you up to par, State Senator Dave Wallace was pretty much giving us an update on the funding. To my understanding, he gave us exactly what was, the balance that was left there for us. I guess is in a holding sale, and if I'm not mistaken, no money has been dispersed yet. Correct, Senator Wallace? Senator Wallace, no money has been dispersed yet, right?
Tony, I didn't hear the first time. No money has been. None of the cities or the counties have received any money yet from
Okay.
the state of Arkansas as far as reimbursement of what is, to my knowledge. That was as of 6 October.
Looks like they got some audio problems on y'all end there. So we're gonna try to get through this.
Yeah, there we go.
But anyway, is it any other concerns? Let me go over here to my screen and see if anyone has any questions. I'm trying to get in all this, Mr. Mulberry. Well, you say they're so sad. The young Huckleberry fan. Just hold tight there, brother Ferris. We want to start up our discussion in a minute. Giving Senator Wallace an opportunity to update us on the coronavirus funding that has been allocated for the city of Blythe and other municipalities. No money has been dispersed yet, as he indicated. And so I'm pretty sure the council and the mayor or someone in the CFO office, chief finance officer, someone have some information in regard to how to make a request for those funding, presenting whatever information that they have in terms of want to be reimbursed for any expenses. And so, but nevertheless, no money has been dispersed yet. And so, is there any other things that you would like to go ahead and share or stake some of the waters on the economical part? That is, I think you mentioned that there was some money that might, somewhat benefit those small businesses.
Well, I'm going to point out we've had a huge drain on our unemployment fund. Fortunately, before this thing started, we had built up our unemployment funds and had a real good program in place. We've had to allocate. It shows 165 million here. That number I know because I voted on it last week is now to $207 million that we have added back into our unemployment claims, and that allows our citizens to continue to draw the unemployment that they're drawing.
Well,
So that we watch that very closely.
well, all right. I will. Councilman Mayberry indicated that he was trying to catch up on exactly. I don't know if you mean where we at right now for the broadcast, or exactly what's going on in regards to trying to understand the funding, if any, that the city of Blavos is getting ready to make, submit their documents for reimbursement. So, Councilman Mayberry, do you have any questions for Senator Wallace?
Just not at this moment, Tony. I just jumped in too late on this to find out, and then all this audio problems I've been trying to solve. So I'm really behind, and I don't want to go through that. Man, we have to do that part another day on that.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
John, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Senator.
Yeah. I tell you, it's always good to have our city council reps to come on to want to be involved, to just get an understanding, especially in these times as it relates to the pandemic, to just get an understanding of what funds are out there, how those funds can be better dispersed, that it be the nursing home, that it be the Department of Correction, that it be money which the city is trying to recoup for whatever reason, money that they spend, that it was on masks or hand sanitizer, or, just those things for is, all those basic necessities that are needed, keeping one another safe. And so, Senator Wallace,
Tony, may I
go ahead.
May I say a few things?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna talk not on the budget, but
All
I'm
right.
gonna talk hopefully to the people. This virus is real. We're seeing it. Please continue to wear your mask. Please continue to wash your hands and maintain that social distancing. Over and over again, where we have outbreaks, it's where our system broke down. If you have large groups of people that gather together, you're probably going to have an outbreak of COVID. We saw that, unfortunately, in some of our churches early on. My own home church has had an outbreak of that in the past month, and we've lost at least 1 to 3 members that I know of. And we're not a big church.
Sorry to hear that.
Wash your hands. There's folks. There's a group of folks, and God bless them, but they feel like if you wear the mask, you're taking their personal freedom away from you. You're not. We're not trying to do that, but we're trying to protect those that are vulnerable. Your grandmother, your granddad, your family member with diabetes, your family member with COPD. We've got to protect them. And the way we protect them is social distancing, wearing the mask so that when we walk the mask, the mask doesn't protect us when we're wearing the mask. It protects the others around us from our cough. And washing the hands. I tell you what, I think we all are going to have raw hands when we're through this, because I wash my hands. I know you do, Tony and John, and I know you do probably 50 times a day. But we have to continue to do that. We'll beat this thing. There's help on the way. We've got great scientists in our country, and we're going to figure this out. But meanwhile, if we do those things, I'm going to repeat it again. Wash your hands. Maintain a social distance of 6 feet or more. Don't get in a small room with a bunch of people. And wear that mask when you're out among people. If you're standing out in the middle of a farm by yourself, you don't have to wear the mask. If you're 100 feet away, you don't have to wear the mask. But if you're standing next to somebody, both of you should be wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I ask you to do that because I've seen cases, our nursing homes are so vulnerable. And once it gets in a nursing home, and we've seen that throughout our county of Mississippi, it spreads. It spreads to the ones that don't have a strong, healthy constitution. And 1/3 of the deaths in Arkansas have come out of our nursing homes because of the age. We've actually had more coronaviruses within our positives within our correction system, but because the individuals there tend to be younger, we had very few deaths there. But in our nursing homes, you've got to protect your grandmother. You've got to protect your granddad, the folks that are in that weak system. So I'm preaching now, but be safe.
Well, all right. State Senator Wallace, as always, I thank you for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to the constituents of your particular area, as well as I know it's parts of District 55 that that are not within your boundary lines. But I thank you for just the same, for always willing to step up to share whatever information you have that might have some benefit, not just to the citizens here of Blytheville, Arkansas, but throughout the county, throughout the entire district. And I really do sincerely thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, Tony. And Tony, I'm going to give my phone number out, and if I lose you, I'm at about 10% of my battery. Maybe you can repeat it for the folks. The folks, if you need to talk to me, anyone, if you need help, my phone number is 870-919-8046. You call me, you text me, I'll give you a call back.
Okay, that was 870-909. Pardon me?
8046.
Okay, what was the prefix? 9 what?
919-8046.
I got you. That's 870.
Thanks.
I got you, and I really appreciate you, again for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
And may God bless you, and you have remained a blessed day.
Thank you for the blessing. God bless
all right, you all. All right, take care.
God bless her. Thank you.
Well, I want to say that was our State Senator Wallace, who stopped by and gave us some information as it relates to funding that have been allocated for various municipalities for the state of Arkansas. There's still a lot of money that they have, shall I say, in the holding pot. Those funds have not been dispersed yet, as we indicated, but as it relates to the Department of Correction, the Department of Health, local municipalities, there is money that has been allocated to be dispersed to those three groups that I just named. Also, there's money also that have been dispersed as it relates to small businesses, who might have, hit some red zone, if you will, to where they need some type of assistance, to keep the doors open. Um, so that's pretty much what State Senator Wallace stopped by to share with us. Uh, I want to say that uh, we'll have Councilman Mayberry on. I don't know if he have anything that he can offer for us, what the city plans to do as it relates to, this pandemic, what we're up against. I know the mayor comes on, him and the chief. I think the last I heard, they were speaking on some things in regards to, uh, I guess, large gatherings, if you will, or trying to enforce the social distance rule. To my understanding, they in the process to where they may be um, have to get to the point to where they may start writing citations. Is that what I'm? At least that's what I heard. Is that still holding true, Councilman Mayberry?
Again, Tony, I'm not 100% on that, but I hope we would, because this pandemic is real. And I'm just telling you, somebody that's a pastor also, yeah, 9 people in our church come down with it. And it's a scary feeling when you got loved ones and all those type of people having this COVID. And so I don't know why we getting the brain freeze on this. People need to social distance, and we do not need these gatherings right now. It just, I don't even know how even our schools are still surviving. And now here we come into indoor sports. This is going to be a big problem. Uh, Maybe outside we might could have got away with a few things, but the inside is the problem. And when you can't social distance in the inside, you creating problems. Look, it only takes one person, just one, and then next thing you know, everybody's infected. And people with underlying health conditions, uh, we seeing by our stats and everything, they fared the worst. So we need to take this thing serious. It's not over yet, and I preach it, and I tell my congregation. I was just in Alabama just a couple of days ago, and went to a restaurant, and I ordered my stuff to go. The other guys with me, they want to stay there. It's just too risky.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too risky. So um, the city of Blytheville should know that we shouldn't have these gatherings. So it doesn't take the police or anybody else, but it seems like we want to ignore it. And then next thing you know, we got people sick, and then our hospitals being flooded, and that's going to create a big problem here. So I hope we will wise up, because it's not over with yet.
Well, all right. We was planning on coming on today. I was planning on having some type of dialogue with the brethren, to speak on, um, shall we say, uh, post conversation or post election conversation with the brethren. Um, just trying to get a feel of what we're yet continue to see, even as we have a new president. Um, One of the things that has been a real concern is, systematic, racism. And so one of the things or dialogue that I was hoping to have with the brethren, just to try to get some feel from them in terms of uh, what does this mean to them? I mean, do they have hope? Do they have somewhat of a prepared agenda uh, to offer to, uh, say, the Biden and Harris, administration? And so those were some of the things that wanted to touch base with them. There were 2 guests that were supposed to come on. Uh, for some reason, one had another engagement, and one I hadn't heard from yet. But anyway, is there anything that you'd like to share in regards to the post election in
Uh,
terms of hope? 2 areas that we're talking about. First, we'll start with as it relates to. Let's just go ahead and just knock this one out of the way right now. Uh, Now, I know you're a city council person, and I'm not trying to ask you to um, speak for the mayor or speak for the police chief, but just from a common sense perspective, uh,
Okay.
I guess the question is out there: one, should there be police accountability? And two, which that's something that we're wrestling with right now as we try to prepare some type of plan for as um, police liability insurance. The reason that we threw that in there, police liability insurance, every time we pay lawsuits, the officer in question who might have committed the wrong, they get off scot free, and the taxpayer end up picking up the bill to pay whatever lawsuit that has been assessed against uh, the police officers. So I believe that if we can have police officers to be funded to carry their own liability insurance, that now when they face lawsuits, they know that it will be them and whoever wrote the insurance policy on them. I think we can finally begin to start seeing uh, a changing in police as it relates to, uh, physical assault, if you will. So, but to the first question, should there be police accountability?
Well, and we speaking just on me, okay?
Right.
I just think police should be held accountable on everything they do. We get the body cameras and all these type of things. On the first instance of a call, in my opinion, I just think that the camera should be rolling because anything can happen. That way we can have a record. That way we can see what's going on. Because we got to understand things are going on and people are getting hurt, people are getting maimed, people are getting killed,
Mhm.
and as a concerned just citizen, uh, we don't want to see that. And then also, we want our police protected. So it works both ways, excuse me. And I just think, you know, uh, a lot of things that we see on the camera and other incidents,
Uh-huh.
uh, it just don't seem to add up when it goes to court or it goes to somewhere and where it just blatantly looks like something's wrong, but they get off, and I don't like that. But again, as a servant, I want our police to do everything by the book, and then we
Uh-huh.
can get our police to do everything by the book, and have our cameras on. I think we'll be all right. But sometimes things are misconstrued. I don't know why. I don't know what the policies are all the time, but I just think just as soon as we get a call, we should be already having cameras rolling. That's just me because that's our only protection against he said, she said. And even with cameras, it still always seemed to be a problem. So I know America's tired, fed up, and Blyville and everybody else. We just want to be treated fairly. Uh, we want the police to be protected. We want everybody to be protected. But if something's wrong, we need to correct it.
Mhm.
And so if police steps out of line, then they need to be dealt with. And if citizens step out of line, they need to be dealt with. So works both ways, hand in hand. I think the number one thing, Tony, is respect. Number one thing is treating people like you want to be treated. Uh, in my private profession, I'm a bail bondsman also. So when I have to arrest somebody, uh, I do it with dignity. I do it like I'm supposed to. I try to treat everybody nice because I always tell them everything can be resolved. This ain't a life and death situation. There's no sense to getting violent. Let's just go in, take care of business, and come on back out. We both want to go home. And so it's just how people are treated. I arrested a lot of people Tony, just say, get in the car. Get in the car. Let's go. It's because I have a rapport with him.
Let me ask you something. Who's the president? Is Councilwoman Brother yet the chairperson of Police and Fire?
She's the chairperson, Councilwoman Brothers.
Will you participate in those meetings, Police and Fire?
Some of them. Most of them I'm there, as far as pretty much at all the meetings. But I don't have a vote in those meetings. I can make comments or suggestions, but mainly is that committee.
Well, let me ask you a question. When, let's just say there's a citizen complaint against a police officer, to your knowledge, is there a committee that examines those customer complaints as they file? I know at one point, every citizen complaint that is filed, it goes straight to the police chief's desk. I have him on record indicating that he's the one that look at all police complaints. So, what role should police and fire play whenever there's a complaint that is filed against a police officer? Shouldn't the starting place be with the police and fire committee? I mean, shouldn't that be the first place?
Again, I'm not on the committee. However, I think you're right. I don't think we have a committee other than our chairperson, that committee. But when a complaint is offered up, it goes to the police chief, and then and after that, it's really it. I've always thought.
When you say go to the police chief, do you mean go to his desk, or is there a lady who take the complaint and the police chief retrieve those complaints, or all the complaints take directly to him? I mean, so when you say the chief gets the complaint, I mean, does his secretary or someone take the complaint and they transfer those complaints to him as opposed to transferring those complaints to the police and fire committee? I mean, that's what I'm trying to get understanding.
That's a good point. I think it goes to it doesn't come to the committee because I never seen it, and so we don't know if he followed up.
Let's make that real clear. So let's make that real clear. Of the meetings that you attend, I'm talking about just the ones you attend, police and fire, you have never filed to where there's a discussion to where a complaint has been, let's just say, hit the chairperson desk or whatever. So she don't discuss police complaints in the committee, to your knowledge.
That's correct. That's correct. It doesn't. So I wouldn't have any
Now,
information
you still
on that.
code. Are you still over code enforcement?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now let's address your committee.
Okay.
Now, if let's just say there's a person who's illegally dumping debris on his property or someone else's property. Okay.
Okay.
If this continue to be a problem, and let's just say I'm the neighbor, I wouldn't go to the police department. I would contact the chairperson, first of all, of code enforcement, which is you, right?
That's correct. That happened over the weekend, and a lady was complaining.
Hold on for a minute. That's the reason I tried to make this comparison here. So again, if there is a complaint against any particular police officer, I think it's too much of a conflict of interest, if you will. If I got a complaint against a police officer, why in the heck would I want the police chief making a call on a complaint that I made against one of his officers? Shouldn't I'm not gonna ask you shouldn't it, but my thing is, it just seemed like to me, in terms of fairness and being transparent, it seemed like to me it just would make good sense. And out of the sake of fairness, it seemed like that complaint should go to police and fire chairperson committee. I mean, would I be wrong in my thinking if I say that?
No, in fact, years ago, and way before I got here, I think there was a board or something like that that would receive things like that. And I'll be one for something like that. That a board would address complaints. Other than the chief. We got two eyes looking at something, so we can have somebody policing the police. And check into things that might be a real concern, or if it just stops at one person. And I have no idea what Councilwoman Brother received. Now I'm gonna defend myself on that because I really don't. Just like nobody knows who actually calls me.
Oh yeah. Now I wanna make that correction. I mean, not correction, but I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not asking you if you have knowledge of what she's receiving. What I'm asking you is that the meetings that you attend, you
Yes,
have never seen such documents being discussed in her police and fire committees in terms of a complaint.
that's correct.
I just want to
That's
make that
correct.
perfectly clear.
That's
You know, there is many other, well, there was one other topic that we was going to talk about, but I was wanting, um, I think there was one brother who have a business, and I wanted him to speak in that area in regards to economic justice,
okay.
in terms of whatever dollars that are being dispersed, whether it's contract or subcontract, how we can get our fair share of the money uh, that is sitting there in Little Rock in terms of doing business with the state government or trying to obtain some loan or grant from a small business administration. Uh, and so that was the other part of this discussion that was supposed to take place today. The first half you and I are speaking about right now, which is police accountability and liability insurance. Uh,
I really want to discuss this liability insurance. Do we know
oh,
any of police department that have that or anything? I asked that for a reason because I also sell life insurance or insurance, and we have to have liability insurance. We have to have
um,
fraud protection and all this other kind of stuff. We have to keep that up yearly. I was just wondering if because that's a good thing. I don't know if any other departments have anything like that, but I have to pay every year for my E&O, Errors and Omission Insurance,
well,
and so
I'm right now. I am I'm I'm reaching out right now to other municipalities. Um, I don't want to call any of the municipalities that I'm reaching out to right now, but I am in the process of reaching out to other municipalities. And as you know, in regards to what happened, beginning with George Floyd,
mhm,
and there's been so many others after George Floyd, is that departments across this, or shall I say, municipalities across this country, um, the taxpayers are the one who's getting hit. All right, and so there are voices within those communities who are asking their city council reps and their mayors to do something about trying to curb or reduce the lawsuits that are being filed against the city, uh, um, for a reason being a police officer have uh, committed misconduct. And so I believe, and I'm glad, hopefully you can have this discussion with the other council members, that if police officers know that now it's not going to be them hiding behind the taxpayers in terms of any lawsuit that is being paid off, if they know that they have to carry their own liability insurance, and if they continue, it's pretty much like driving. so many accidents, your insurance policy will drop you, correct?
That's correct.
And there need to be something written into the liability insurance policy in terms of from the police department that if they don't maintain their liability insurance, or if they get to the point to where because they are considered a risk because of their misconduct, whether it's physical assault or any other, misbehavior, if you will, in the course of doing their job. If they pick up too many of these claims, if you will, then I really do believe that liability insurance company will drop them. And once they're dropped from their liability insurance company, then they can't work for the city of Blouses because our police officer must be funded. And I just think that makes good sense. I mean, it shouldn't be anything called into question because I'm saying that we have good police officers that when they raised their hand and took a solemn oath to uphold the very law that they are executing, if you will, in terms of protecting and serving. Uh, it shouldn't be a big deal to keep the law that you're enforcing. And so hopefully that can be something that, the city council can look at, for its police accountability, and I really
Well,
do believe that will reduce some of these lawsuits.
I don't know as far as the few things that I've been involved in. Luckily, we always go to the Justice League and things of that nature to settle these suits. Uh, uh, I think, again, I don't know. I was looking at somebody's comment saying they do have it. Then again, who would pay for it? Would the officer have to pay for his premium, or would the city have to pay for the premium? The cost and all that kind of good things would have to also be factored in. So again, just looking at it, sounds real good, but again, I would have to look into it, and that's not my department. Don't get me wrong, but that's something that's always, something to look at, because I have been done in a lawsuit before for the city, and even though we had to pay out, I just didn't think the person should got a dime. You hit us, you was running from us and you hit us, and yet we ended up having to still pay. It didn't make sense to me.
Well,
Yeah, something else is talking. Some things just don't make sense. And,
well, this is uh, a private message. I was hoping that they'll put it out in the public news feed here. Uh, Now, this is a gentleman that lives in Chicago, Illinois. Uh, let me just read it to you.
I see it.
You asked me a question, do I know of any other police departments that, require it? He lives in Chicago, Illinois, and he just texted me something here which stated, police do have liability insurance,
Yes.
or what is called professional liability, and in some stated it's mandatory. And so that's from Chicago, Illinois.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, they call it professional liability in terms of being bonded. And so that is something already exists. I mean, I'm talking to, well, not talking, but I'm reaching out to a few municipalities myself, not just in the state of Arkansas, but surrounding, uh, states that is, to try to find out if they have it, and if so, just trying to find out what's the process. How do we go about it? I mean, I got a pretty good general idea of how we go about it, but still, I just like to get that information, and hopefully, when I get it, um, I'm going to make that presentation to the mayor and the council,
Hmm.
and hopefully, you all will, seriously look at it, discuss it, and consider, adopting such policy to where a police officer must be bonded if they are to work for the city of Blouses.
Okay. I mean, like again, let's see how it's put together and see what other cities are doing. I mean, everything is possible. I'm not one of them people. I'm open to all ideas. I mean, whether it works or don't, let's look at it first. Don't just, you know, have a closed mind or shut the door so quick, because we all want to be protected. The police want to be protected. Everybody wants to be protected. At the end of the day, we all trying to go home. At the end of the day, everybody's trying to go home.
Now, just explain to the people. Let me ask you this here:
Okay.
for every lawsuit that is filed against the city, you know, the police department representing the city, how much money does that cost taxpayers in terms of representation? I think you all are somewhat affiliated with the Arkansas Municipal League.
That's correct.
So how much
Usually
money they charge us for that?
I wouldn't just know the number right offhand, Tony, but uh, our city is covered, and we're with the municipal league, and through the mayor and through John Callis and all them. Uh, we have budget set aside for things of this nature. Um, when they come up, and they need our opinion, voice, or whatever, then we have meetings and discussions about it when that time comes. When lawsuits are going actual to court, and then we actually got to be there talking about the council. Uh, then that's when we really get involved. But just going through just everything, that's our city attorney's job, and all those people, they handle all that before it even gets to us at the very, very, very end. Gets to us at the very, very, very end, where we have to vote to one way or the other.
All right. Look at here. I want to show you something. This is a chart right here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me go back.
Not yet.
Can you see that chart?
No.
You can't see it?
No, sir.
Let me see if I can blow it up.
I don't know how this program works, but I don't know if you can share your screen or.
Yeah, I can share it. You can share it as well. But actually, this is uh, a platform, or should I say, a campaign plan. Elizabeth Warren. I'm pretty sure you remember Elizabeth Warren. One of the things that she did. Let me go back. One of the things that she did uh, when she was running for president, you can see some of those things. I just read it to you where it say addressing maternity, mortality. They had something to do with black women dying at a higher rate than their white counterpart, those who are with child, pregnancy. That's the issue. Affordable housing and addressing redlining in terms of buying a home. Child care, college student debt, criminal justice reform, election reform, empowerment, and empowering workers, entrepreneur of color, environmental justice, farmers of color, immigration. Of course, we got LGBTQ rights, Medicaid for all, prevent gun violence, reproductive rights, Social Security benefit expansion, value and worth of women of color, ultra millionaires tax, and so forth. Now, those are some of the things that we'll talk about. We're also going to be addressing prison policy in regards to making telephone calls. Uh, I'm pretty sure you are aware that every time a telephone call is made home from the prison, uh, that's a pretty good little chunk of change. Uh, Let me go back to it. You see this color code where you get Arkansas right here? Do you see Arkansas right there?
Say, you kind of
Color
muffed out a little.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
actually an orange. I'm trying to see if I can blow it up a little bit. But actually, it's color code in orange.
I
And
see a police accountability and liability insurance. Okay,
let
I
me
see
just
it
show
now.
you what. Yeah,
At
let
the
me
very
just show
bottom.
you. Yeah, let me just show you. Go to that orange on this chart right here now.
I
If
don't see a
you'll
chart yet.
go, if you'll go to orange, on this chart right here. If you would
Okay,
go
there
to
we
the
go. I see you
home, it's the average rate charged by jail. This is the county jail, of course. In some cases, it may be the state penitentiary. Uh, the average rate charged by jail is $6 or more for 15 minutes. In-state call. That's in-state. $6 for a 15-minute call. Do you see the kind of hardship that is being placed on families who have to take a collect call from their loved one who's incarcerated? Might want to talk with the kids, what have you, just trying to keep that relationship for its contact going. Uh, what do you know, if any, that is being done with the ridiculous inflated telephone rates? Mind you now, there are companies that are getting rich
I agree.
off of inmates.
I agree.
And they're somewhat, whether it's the county sheriff department or whether it's the state facilities, they are contracting out with these telephone companies. And it's not just telephone. I mean, they got these things where they sell little snacks and everything. Uh, that is going out the roof. I think used to be a time where they sell them $2 flip flops might cost you 10 in jail.
Uh,
You know what I mean? But
I do know. I do know.
as well. You know, that is another issue that we wanna try to address, especially the telephone call. We think that we can do better. There's need to be some other alternatives to keep family in contact with their loved ones who serving jail time. Let it be the county jail or let it be state penitentiary or what have you. So what's
Now,
your thoughts on that?
I do know the law in the county jail, even might even the state, for sure. They can call their bail bondsman, or they can call also their attorneys or the public defenders for free. That happens here. Um, but as far as the citizens, my son was in prison before, and I tell you, that was one of our biggest complaints, because it costs so much just for a call to try to encourage or uplift their spirits or moral. But then on the other part, let's look at the kind of expense that the sheriff department or whatever facility might have, because they're going to monitor those calls, they're going to listen to those calls, because they also have to protect themselves. So it's a double-edged sword. To me, as you said, I think these companies are getting rich on top of rich. First of all, it's prison. We understand that. It's jail. We understand that. They're not going to allow you to have cell phones or whatever. So they have a monopoly. You got to play our game, and to me, it's unfair. But the people will have to get behind that and push something, because until there be a greater outcry, I mean, it's going to just stay as it is. Again, like I said, bail bondsmen get free calls. City public defenders get calls. Lawyers get calls from the inmates free. But to their families who's needed most, rates are just so high that they can't afford it, especially in today's economy. You just can't keep picking up that phone. I don't know if it should be a limit, because then here come the abuse. That every time you look around, somebody's on the phone, all the time. So those are some things you have to really look at, Tony. But I do think, like you said, somebody's getting awfully rich on the system.
Well, let me ask you this here. Before I make a suggestion, I wanna yield to Sister Taylor. There, that's the word I was looking for. Commissary. That's what
Yeah. They got the fair package. It's Christmas time.
That's the word I was looking for. Commissary. Commissary prices. I mean, that's actually what they call it, commissary. And guys be ready to go ahead and whatever kind of. I don't think they have money gets They got some type of little old fake coins or something, what they call it, to where, I mean, it's like money, but yeah, that's what it is actually. It's commissary prices for inmates. You know, goes for the phone as well. And also, yeah, text messages. I think Blavel just, not Blavel, the county jails just started this system to where, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know a whole lot about it. Maybe Miss Taylor can explain it. But they kind of like charging you now for, like, let's just say a little poster card may be, say 4x7. 4x7 and so many words, it may give you a total of 200 words on the card. Anything over 200, I guess it's gonna cost you more. And well, put like this here, I think anything over the required number of words, uh, I guess is somewhat, I wouldn't say illegal, but it's it's out of policy. You can only have so many words on a card. I think it's a card now, as opposed to writing on a letter. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Miss Taylor can explain that. Uh, but yeah, that is something that is going on. She got another one here. I'm sure glad Miss Taylor's participating here.
I know.
Here's another one she got. It says, since COVID has started, you can video chat for 30 minutes for $2.50 on what's that? Securus Technology. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not familiar, but that's not, to me, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. And so,
That's not bad.
yeah, and so there are some things, some alternatives, especially in the midst of this pandemic. There are some things that is being done now that could have been done before this pandemic. And so now, since we find other alternatives to do things, hopefully when we come out of it, hopefully we won't go back to those inflated, high, ridiculous fees that they was placing on not the inmates, but placing on the families back home, because the families are the one that's paying this money. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. This video is like when you go visit the inmates,
Right.
like when I used to go visit my son, we had that little 30 minutes or hour, whatever we have. So, but what about just normal? Here come Tuesday. How come we couldn't have that same thing? Not just on our visitation day Saturday. I haven't been in prison before, and I can, in my opinion, it could be a horrible life. But to have contact and hope and everything with your parents, that's a positive. That's a positive.
Well, this is what I recommend right here. How about that the county jail system? I don't think the city run a jail system. They're just, I'm speaking of the county.
Okay.
My suggestion would be this, is that why can't the family go and purchase a $25 gift card and give it to the inmate and let that serve, uh, you know, to be used when he or she gets ready to make phone calls. So
Well,
wouldn't it be,
Tony. Now I'm just talking because I really don't know, but I think they, people put money on their books, and what they use it for, I have no idea. But I wonder if that's, I don't even know if the sheriff department has this that we just looked at.
well, I had a son who was incarcerated, and it, it may be, in terms of the expression, the words used, it may be put money on the book, but they got a machine that they used to have at the county jail. I don't know if they still get it. If you put, say, for example, you want to put $20 into the account of your loved one there at the county jail, I think the machine, I think for so much money that you deposit, $20 or $50, I think there's somewhat of a service fee, like $2 for the first $20 that you put on the book. So if you put $20 on the book and it's a $2 fee, then actually you ain't got the $18 on the book. So that's the way I understand it. Here go. You got another one here. It says we can put money on commissary account or phone accounts. Are you familiar with that?
Now I wonder if she's talking not the sheriff department here, but I wonder if she might be talking about another prison system. I hope she can clarify that for us.
Oh, you mean like Cummins?
Yeah, like another prison system in Arkansas. Because I don't know. They might have something, some phone. Yeah, she said she do it online. Arkansas Department of Corrections.
Yeah.
So that might be about the bigger prisons.
Yeah, they got a different. I guess they got a different setup. Probably got the. They probably got the manpower, the resources to do something like that, as opposed to, how the Mississippi County Sheriff Department is set up. Look like we got questions coming in. I hope you got a little time here.
I'm sitting here just talking to you.
Here go one right here. Tony, I've been saying this for years. What if the family give them a phone, pay their bill every month? But you look at the other side, you're taking the money, you're taking the state money. Well, the thing is that, in all, I'm just gonna call it for what it is. Uh, I don't think that the sheriff department of the state prison system, I think that's how they make extra money on the side to do extra things, as opposed to, uh, not having it in the budget. And so I'm thinking that if they cut out the cell phone system as we know it now, with the contracting, what is AT&T, what is Sprint, or whoever, if they cut out the contractors right now, that will cause the county jail to lose a substantial amount of money, wouldn't it?
It could, but jails, as everything else, is big business. And again, they could be doing things to save taxpayer money. I don't know, because I don't run that department or anything about it. But like you said, that could be, why they do certain things. But at the same time, they still got to be reasonable. $6 for a 15-minute call, it's still expensive.
Yeah, it is. That's like that's like about 40, 50 cents per minute, ain't it? A phone call, anytime you're paying, I guess, home phone, you're paying over 10 cents per minute. I think that's considered to be pretty much, I guess, high. Most home phones, if my memory serves me correctly, I've been using my cell phone so much, I don't forget the charge of a home phone. But it used to be a point, if you're paying anywhere between 6 to 10 cents per minute for a phone call, that was considered to be reasonable. But now, 40 cents a minute for a phone call, I mean, man, that's how we rob it.
Well, and I know, it's been a game by the big people for so long, and they keep us in the dark, and then we find new ways of doing stuff, and then they still want to get a cut of that. Just like the streaming and all this other kind of stuff, and direct TVs, and just AT&Ts. They're gonna keep us broke.
Are you familiar with that machine? I can't pronounce that word. What is that called?
Keisha machine.
Yeah, you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with it, but I see something at the sheriff department, but I don't, of course, I don't know that.
I mean, what kind of machine is there? I mean, what does it do? Is that how you put money on the book? Or buy food or what?
I guess that's how you can put money on the book. I have never done it, Tony, so I don't know. I thought just go to the window and tell them, hey, I want to put some money on this person's book.
But you say there is a fee to use that machine as well. There is a fee.
Right. I don't know if they do that or how they do it.
Well, these are some of the things that no one on the outside. These people are still human beings, although they're doing time in prison, and I just don't think it's fair, if you will, that the prison system actually is punishing two people. They're not only punishing the inmate for doing time, but they punishing the family who's in home. You might well say they in jail too. I mean, because they're the one that have to pay this expense, that it be commissary, money putting on the book, that it be money for what they call it, text messages, letter light type deal, whether it's using the computer there for the, what do you call it, a video chat or what have you. You know, it's just a shame how they getting rich off of poor people. They already poor when they go into prison.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so hopefully, these are some of the things that I want to talk about with some of the brothers in terms of economic justice. Um, I'm sorry I couldn't have the brethren to come on to take part in this discussion. We have a new president now, and so what does that all mean? I mean, does that mean that uh, now there could be some hope for black men in general in terms of systematic racism, uh, high incarceration, in terms of job employment? You know, so where does this put the mindset of the black brothers in terms of having some hope uh, as it relates to the criminal justice system and also economic justice? They're not here, and so I know time been well spent with you and I. Uh, I think Ms. Taylor said yes, so that's how they add funds to the account. And so basically, what you and I are talking about is, back and forth here is what's going on in terms of those fees with the machines and all. Uh, but you're a bail bondsman, and I imagine you see a lot of this, correct?
As far as what part?
I
Uh,
mean, just having some knowledge of how the system is, the system works, the jail system.
I know some, Tony. This is how I work as a bail bondsman. How I always keep myself grounded. Uh, when I bail somebody out of jail, I don't care what they done because they're innocent until proven guilty. I don't even want to know their case. All I want you to do is appear in court. That's all my job is, to make sure you appear in court. So when they try to tell me, I got this going on, I cut them off because I'm not here
Uh-huh.
to judge you. My job is to make sure you go to court. That's it, period. So a lot of things I try to keep myself dumbed down on because what I did this and the judge gave this person this. What do I need to do to get out? I stay out that game. I really do. Uh, because sometimes you can let your personal feelings get in the way because somebody, again, they're innocent according to our laws until proven guilty. So my job is to bail you out to make your court appearance, and that's all I care about. Is that you make sure you go to court. If don't, then we got some other avenues we got to go down. But as far as the system, what goes on in the jail and who did somebody wrong and all that, I'm the wrong person to talk to when it's time to bail somebody out. My job is to make sure you appear in court. So that's how all these 20 some years, 22, 23 years, however long I've been doing this, that's how I keep myself grounded. I try to know as less as possible about what your circumstances are or anything, because I don't want to judge you on anything. That's not my job. My job is to make sure you go to court. And so I don't want to hear about your case. I don't want to hear about when I bail you out and somebody like, beat up somebody or, did something terrible or could have did something terrible. It's not my job. And
Come
that's
on,
how,
Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
yeah, that's not my job. My job is not to judge you. My job is to get you out to take care of your business, to meet you, because you might need to take care of lawyers, family, whatever you got to do, and
Go on, Pastor.
and
Just
that's what.
one last thing, uh, and then we'll wrap it up, unless we got a question over here. This is my take on the post-election conversation. You know, what I see from black men, black America, or what have you, we always wait until an election get up on us, and then we got a whole lot of things that we ask for. You know, now I'm pretty sure you saw what Stacey Abrams has done with Georgia.
Okay.
When she lost her bid for the governor's race, she didn't whine, she didn't complain, she didn't do none of that. What she did, she said, how can I use my time? So what she did, she started a grassroots coalition working with others of looking at the next 2 to the next 4 years down the road of saying, this is how we plan on having an impact on the next election. We're not only going to go and register people to vote, but we're going to educate them on the issues. You see, sometimes when we go and get people to vote, we just tell them, hey, you need to get registered to vote. We don't tell them nothing else. We don't try to tell them what are the issues, why you're voting, why change is needed. Do you think there's change that needs? And so we have to start now. Okay, this is 2020. We need to be planning right now for 22 or 24. But we always procrastinate, if you will. We always want to wait until election is up on us. And then, you know, we got a whole lot of stuff that we asking for. So that's just my thought. So what is your thought? I mean, do you think that we need to start now a grassroots coalition of trying to put forth, uh, let's just call it for what it is, since we're dealing with systematic racism, shouldn't we start right now to put forth some agenda, as it relates to issues that we face daily, uh, speaking on the topic, systematic racism? Should we start now? Do we just wait till the next 4 years is up on us, and then we start asking for a whole lot of stuff again? Your thoughts?
Here we go. So every 4 years we get sensationalized. We get all caught up and we get all excited about who's going to do what for us. But then after that, everything seems to die down. And then those that came in and started the grassroots, they try to pass it on because they're probably going somewhere else. And then as it started getting watered down, people start losing interest. And until we can keep people serious minded and spark their interest, and just as they're active now, after elections are won, it just seems like everything fizzles out. And our people have to stay together. And if they got an issue or they got things they won't change, they got to keep going on for the change. Don't wait because the election, we thank God for Biden and Harris in there, but you still got to keep pressure. They're going to do what they can with their campaign promises, but then what happens when they get stuck? That's when you go to your councilman. That's when you go to your District 55. That's when you go to your Senator Wallace's and whoever else, and you keep going up the chain because you want to see a change. Yes, there's systemic racism and been there for a long time, and now people just coming out and talking about it. But it can't just be a buzzword. We got to go in there and keep knocking down doors, and call it for what it is. Let's just be fair. Everybody wants to be treated fair, but we don't get that type of treatment all the time like we should. So people don't need to get all sensationalized just for this little happy moment now. Okay, yeah, they're in, but what's it going to do for you? So you got to keep working the system. And let me say this, it's a slow process. So that means you can't fade out. Like you said, do we start now? Yeah. And you keep going. This train got some momentum, but you got to keep going because we know everybody start fading back, fading out. And then we got to wait 4 years and then we get all excited again, but we look at all the ground we lost. And we can just keep pushing forward hard. I believe we can get some things accomplished. We're 50 some years old on the planet and it still ain't seen a whole lot of change in a lot of things we do. It just, as a whole.
And that's the point that I was making. This is a marathon, all right? This is not no sprint. We can't just want to work for a few hours or a few months or what have you, and we go home and get on the sofa, and we wait till the election is up on us again, And here we go again. We asked for a whole lot of stuff, you know. Uh, but I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, we got to start now. And as a matter of fact, we need to start on the local level. You know, we get so excited about the federal election.
I agree,
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah.
Why I
We
got
get
my
so
platform.
excited.
Hold on, Tony. Why I got my platform. I'm gonna say this because I want this to go on record. We need a youth center here in Blytheville. I'm gonna say it out in the open. I've been saying that for 4 years. Man, our people have nothing to do. Our people have no place to go. We need a place where we can call home, where we can let down our hair. We can learn something. We can do a whole lot of things. And
Are
it's
you
gonna take
referring to a recreation youth center? Is that what you're referring to?
recreation youth center has been needed here in Blytheville. And that
So
might
what's
can help
the
us with a lot of things as far as crime and a lot of things as far as youth got no place to go and vandalism and a whole lot of stuff. Then we give them an avenue.
well, what seemed to be the hold up then?
Hold up is what you just said. We don't have enough people with that drive to push the city council, the mayor, and everybody else that, hey, we want this done. Because
So in
I'm
other words, speaking to your constituents in the city of Blythe at large, Councilman Mayberry has been fighting since day one to try to get a youth recreation center for the city of Blythe, but he needs our help. He
that's
needs your help to help him fight continually going forward to try to get a center, youth center that is, for the city of Blythe.
for the city.
So parents, grandparents, neighbors, uh, uh, whatever you might be, uncle, nieces, nephews, all the whole family. Let's get behind this man.
Hey,
You know,
Tony, we can make this happen. That's what I wanted. If we push the button, we can have anything that we want in this city. We
well,
can
I
build it. I
think
ain't talking about no sham and no scabby. We're gonna build a state of the art facility. Get behind it. Let's make this thing happen. Because
well, you got
oh,
a young lady there. It said we need to do for ourselves. Now, don't wait for the president or council or agency. We need to be accountable and make things happen for ourselves. Treat each other fair and with respect.
that's
And I
correct.
totally agree with that. We have to take the initiative ourselves or wanting something. And if we want it bad enough, we will throw ourselves into the participation, if you will, of trying to make some of these things happen.
That's
But just sitting back complaining and what have you, that ain't gonna get things done. And so I want to say it's been real a pleasure
wait,
speaking with
wait,
the
Tony.
gentleman.
Here's what I want you to do. One of your next shows, let's get some people on here on your show and let's talk about having this youth center and all this. I'd be happy to come on. And if we need any other councilman folks to come on, but I'll show up for sure because we need this thing. I'm not over Parks and Rec, but this is just needed here in Blytheville. I think it'll change the persona of Blytheville, and I just think it just will be a blessing to our city.
So Pastor Jones is over Parks and Recreation, correct?
That's correct.
And Miss Cody Wyatt, she run that operation, don't she?
And she's been looking up some plans also for it, along with other people, other ideas. So we're crawling, but I want to run. I'm about doing. I'm about progress. This should have been done 2 or 3 years ago. So that's just my opinion. We can move money around. We can borrow money. I don't care how, as long as we get it done. As long as we get it done.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. Hopefully we can come back. I mean, if you, I mean, I can do my part towards talking to people, but if you know some people that, want to join in and work with you and work with whatever group, whether it's the chairperson of Park and Recreation, or whether it's the director of Park and Recreation. I think when we bring all, bodies to the table and minds, of course, to sit down and have some type of constructive dialogue, discussion, if you will. I think we might can make this happen. So if you know of anyone that might want to go ahead and start this ball rolling, give me a holler.
Okay.
Right. Well, Councilman, it's been good. I'm gonna go ahead and let you have a remainder of your day. I'm gonna get in here and get me a little bit more, a couple of snacks, and go watch me a little bit of news. But
All
pass
right.
the word. I want you to pass the word. When we vote, we win.
We in
All right. All
all day
right.
long.
All right. So I give the last words to you, and we'll close it out.
Well, we done what we supposed to do. We voted, we voted, we voted, but there's so much more work to do. And I would ask the citizens of Blytheville, if you desire something, talk to your city councilman and push it. Because if it stay dormant, they're gonna let you stay dormant. But if you want something to move in this city, tell us about it so we can help move it. And because our job is to serve you, period. So I want to serve. I've heard it several years ago. This is what the citizens want. We thank God for some of the moves that the citizens are already done here. We have, I think they got the center going up that came up in Blytheville at the high school and things of that nature. We just need
Uh-huh.
our city to grow and have a first class facilities. Other cities around us are doing it, and now it's our turn. It's been our turn for our citizens. I stay in Blytheville. This is probably where I'm gonna die at, in Blytheville. So I love Blytheville. This is my hometown.
All right. With that being said, Councilman Mayberry, I want to say again, thank you for coming on, and don't be a stranger. Let's do
No
this
problem.
again. And so, as I always say when I close out, peace and love to you, my brother. God bless, and come back to see me. All right.
All right, Chief.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a pretty long show. We kind of had it half and half. We talked about, we had our state senator on, Dave Wallace, talking to us about the coronavirus funding that has been pushed down from the feds to down to the states and now coming to the various counties and municipalities. There's also some money in that for those of you who may be running into some type of red problems, or shall I say financial problems, as it relates to having some of those necessities that you need, that it be hand sanitizer or that it be masks or any expense as it relates to the coronavirus. There is funding for you, okay? But anyway, it's been a long show. I think it was one that was worth listening to. I thank those who stayed with me to the duration of it. Today is Sunday. I'm going to run one more show, unless it's a special show. That'll be coming up next Sunday, where I'm going to try to have some people on um, who believe that they have been let down by the criminal justice system in terms of prosecutory misconduct. What I mean by that is that you have a prosecutor, and I'm not talking about Mr. Walker. I'm talking about down on the south end of the county. Uh, but we have a prosecutor that has been selected. I'm just going to use that word. I don't want to say, you know, um, uncaring. I don't want to use that word. I'm just going to say that negligent, if you will. Let me just say that I think there has been some negligent behavior that has taken place in terms of um, particular victims have not been given their due justice, or shall I say, their day in court uh, to the various person or persons who might have wronged them. I don't get involved with black on black crime, but it's one thing that I do not tolerate. I do not tolerate prosecutory misconduct or anything for as a violation of one's civil or constitutional rights by law enforcement. Those two things I don't like. Don't mean that I'm getting involved supporting one side versus the other. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not trying to uphold uh, uh, the victim and kicking against the defendant. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that if the law states that you should do X, Y, Z, how you doing, my brother? I see you. If the law states that one should do X, Y, Z, then that need to be done. We cannot have prosecutorial misconduct continuing to take place in Mississippi County. So that's going to be the show for next Sunday. I'm hoping to have 2 guests on to come on. One of the guests to where the justice system failed her in regards to she being a victim, to where she lost a loved one, to where it was as a result of the statute of limitation running its course. And so therefore, that case had to be dismissed by law. And so her loved one, you know, is deceased. You know, she didn't get any justice. Like I say, I'm not kicking against the defendant. I'm kicking against the criminal justice system where the prosecutor was negligent in not prosecuting this case in the proper timeline. That's what I'm talking about. And the other case to where it were a person, again, a victim, to where this person had to have surgery, serious surgery, and yet going to the doctor back and forth. Again, prosecutory misconduct. Prosecutor being selected in regards to what cases he or she want to prosecute. We should not have that in our criminal justice system. That is very disgraceful. And when we have a prosecutor like that, that prosecutor should be disbarred. So my brother done showed up. Pharaoh, what's going on, my brother? Let me see if I can. Look like you gotta unmute yourself. Look like you gotta unmute yourself there.
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry, man. I had to unmute myself.
All right.
I'm listening to you all. What's going on, man?
Oh man, nothing, man.
Good show, man. Great show.
We got to part 1, part 2. I'm trying to. I was hoping that the other guests could come on. In terms of economics, there is some information that I would like to share with them. If you look at, there is money. See, every year when Arkansas makes a budget,
right,
10% of that money. Let's just say it's $300,000, okay?
Yeah.
Which is more than that. That means $30 million of that money must be set aside for minorities and women to do business with the government.
Right.
But we have people here where the information is not being given to them, where they can't go and, you know, request these dollars. They prefer going down to the bank, getting a loan, something that they gotta pay back, not knowing that their business is actually gonna really, you know, sustain itself or take off making money. And so now they run into some financial problems.
Right.
They already done took out a loan. So now you don't have no relief file in terms of where you can go to get dollars to sustain your business as you go through the rough spot. And so this is money that has been set aside to do business with the government. Whether you operate some transportation system, whether you operate some type of daycare, whether you get some semi-skill, whether it's mechanic, whether it's a roofer, you know, we got project houses, we call it, that need roofs on it, you know, every period, you know, every so many years. You know, so that's what I'm saying is that I was hoping to give them information to let them know that there is money just sitting there waiting for them to come and cash in on. But they prefer to go get loans, you know. But
No,
that's what I want to talk about: economic justice and criminal justice on tonight. And so since you came on, I know the night been well spent. You know, it's me and you talking anyway, and so we can just go ahead and talk. I mean, you know, if someone tune in, they tune in. If they don't, so
Yeah.
as it relates to the election, what do you believe? I don't know if you heard my comments when I was stating that this is a marathon and not a sprint.
right.
You know, we always want to wait until the election year, and we
Right.
got a whole lot of stuff we want to ask for. Whole lot of stuff.
Between them 4 years.
We have no planning. So what's your thoughts on that? What's your take on that? I mean, why do we always foot trade until the election year, and then we want to try to hold these people accountable? You know, I was trying to reach out to a brother today. You know, it was something mentioned in regards to, you know, student loan.
Mhm.
You know, I wanted to have a discussion on that because see, I was going to be talking about that tonight with my guest. You know, but my thing is that, you know, okay, even if we successful with writing off student loan,
Right.
we still got students come behind them that need funding to get an education. You
Correct.
see what I'm saying? There are stakes right now. See, when we hear the word reparation, the first thing we think about, oh, we're going to get a lot of money. We're going to get a lot of money. There is a thing that's called housing reparation, education reparation, healthcare reparation. So
Mhm.
why can't we get with our legislators, that it be the that it be the state representative, or that it be the state senator? Why can't we get with our state legislators and do like some states, like I think Virginia is one state that got education
Education reparation.
reparation. In other
Yeah.
words, let's just say you got a child that's
Right.
coming out of college, all right?
Mhm.
Let's just say right here in the city of Flowers, why can't we give free reparation in terms of education for them
Right.
to go and enroll in a college of their choice? That it be locally, or that it be, you know, somewhere within, say, 100-mile radius, or, you know, I'm not trying to restrict them to how
Right.
far they travel. But there need to be education reparation, what I'm saying. Okay, even if we get loans forgiven, we still get hundreds and thousands of kids that's coming behind them that need funding to go to college. So
Right.
why can't we kill two birds with one stone? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Your thoughts.
Well, yeah, you can. I mean, it's not impossible. The only impossibility is to have people to have that mindset. When they don't have that type of mindset of what you were just speaking of, then they would go the opposite direction of what you're thinking. I know here in Illinois, they do have, you know, where they have these meetings every night, or no, every other night. I ain't gonna say every night. I know it's Monday and Wednesday, where they do give out all this information about different ways, you know, your kid can get in college, different organizations, different things that they can do to get in college, money wise, financially, so they won't have to pay back the student loan. But when a person don't know, it's hard to tell them because they don't believe it. They don't believe it exists. How can that be? Why would I get it? That's the question they're gonna ask. What makes me special? You know, and then if they do get something, they're afraid to share it because why should I tell him? He didn't tell me nothing. You know,
Why
that's
do
the
we do that though? I mean, that's what
well,
you just said. I mean, why do we do that? I mean, why
yeah,
do we sit on information? Not only that it benefits me,
yeah.
but why are we like that? Why don't we share information, you know, to help someone else? I mean, why are we like that?
Well, it's inbred. It's a psychological effect of slavery and fear. It's inbred in us. We don't try to do it. It's an unconscious bias that we have, and sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. I mean, when I was trying to get my credit straight, I talked to a
Mhm.
guy, a brother. I know him. I know him playing ball with him. He charged me $900. So I'm like, I went to my nephew Kahani, and I said, Kahani, this is what I'm doing. He said, why? And then he just showed me everything, you know, how to get my credit straight, how to write the letters, and everything, man. It's like zero. I said, well, why do we know information that we sit on? He said, because they don't want you to know what they know because then they scared you're going to get ahead of them. It's that curl in the, that crab in the bucket, man. But it's unconscious bias. It's the same. I mean, I'm sure you get it. When I remember a video you posted, you was at the I don't know where you was at a city meeting, and the black guy was there. I think he was a sheriff or he was a police officer for Blavu, and you wanted to go in the meeting, and they wouldn't let you in the meeting. But he treated you worse than the other two people did. But why would he? Yeah, he treated. I mean, he treated you worse. I ain't got to talk to you, Tony. Yeah, Tony. You said, my man. I just want to know why the meeting ain't in here. And the white lady and the other man didn't say too much because the black guy was treating you worse than they would. And that's the mentality we have. We continue to have the mentality of that psychological effect of slavery. We need to be approved by our counterparts to say this is what we can do. Until they give us the approval, we won't do it. You know what? I heard you talking about the finance, and I think that was funny that they had so much money and no one's tapping into it. So much. Wow. Why is
this is what I want to talk about tonight.
Why is that? Yeah.
They would rather go and get a loan.
Wow.
They would rather go and get a loan. But the money that's already there, not put. This is money that has already been set aside for women.
Yeah.
That class as well, because if you go back years, women couldn't vote either.
No, they couldn't.
Women, there are certain things that women couldn't do. I don't care if you were a white woman. There's certain things that you couldn't do. And so women, white women especially, have benefited greatly from this funding that we're talking about, because in this funding, where I say minorities and women, there are stories to where you might have a white guy who wants to start a business. Let's say he wants to start let's just say a tree cutting business, all right? Now, good and well, a woman, she ain't gonna be going out there cutting no trees, right? But she can get the money. That's all you need to find out, who can get the money. When he find out that his wife can get the money, his wife going down there, go through the process in terms of everything is needed in her name, but you and I both know
he's right. But and that is also you need someone who would believe in what you're saying. They won't fight you. They won't think you're against them. They'll believe you that, hey, you telling them, hey, this money is right here for you, and you show them everything. I mean, actually, it was shown tonight if everybody was watching, but you showed them everything, and then you said, "This was." He put it out there like it was, hey. But I guess, they didn't pay attention. Man, someone can get a woman to get some of that money.
It's that enslaved mentality.
Psychological effect of slavery. Unconscious bias.
Enslaved, they have the key to unlock the locket, if you will.
Yeah.
That contains all this knowledge.
Right.
Got a padlock. I think you saw that book about the misconception of the Negro by
Prodigy was
a very good book that I think everyone need to have that on their shelf.
Yes, sir.
A lot has to do. I think I made a post the other day on Maya Angelou. It was dealing with attitude.
Yes.
99.9% of the stuff that ain't working in our favor, for the most part, it has to do with attitude.
Attitude. You're right. And
when you got an attitude, it shuts everything else down. The mind can't even think as long as you carrying inappropriate attitude. But anyway, I don't talk enough. I extend this time to you, and I'm getting your snag. Is there anything else that you'd like to offer? I know you said you want to come on tonight, and so I don't want to close out. If there's something that you want to share with the people,
I think that we all are happy that the election went like it went. We all are happy that we had the first black woman as vice president, the first woman as vice president. I know our ancestors are happy because they get to view a black president and now a woman black vice president. And just piggyback off of you all, man, I learned a lot from looking at those numbers. I'm thinking about moving home. I mean, that money's just sitting there waiting on someone to pick it up.
Yeah.
So this is one question I want to ask you. If they don't take the money, what happens to it?
Well, it's just like he said,
The Ellicott back?
I was kind of, being a little, what's the word? Figure of speechly. I was using a word out of a figure of speech, what I'm trying to say. I was saying that the money, it returns back to a pot.
Okay.
But here's the deal. That money may return back to the pot. But if you got something else that is lacking, you and I both know that they're gonna what they call redelegate those funds.
Mm-hmm.
Moving from one area to another area.
Yeah.
And so I mean,
I was like,
I'm gonna go ahead and say this here. I know from the last 2 years, I believe, when it comes to this money that we're talking about, minority and women, funding for us doing business with the government, man, it's as much as probably in the tens of millions of dollars that's left on the table.
wow. And just to think, he just said he wanted what he wanted is the club, the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is find the right person to work with them, and they can get that going. It don't have to be his Boys and Girls Club. It can be theirs, and have a woman go get it. It's there. I mean, I've seen the numbers myself.
What did we just talk about the woman that the husband wanted the tree business?
That's
All
right.
he needed to do was find who could get the money.
Who can get the money? Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, it's the same thing here. If we want a recreation center, we need to find out who can get the money.
Money and not be
take
the pride out of it. Yeah.
We don't like to use this thing right here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it kills one to think. We don't like to use this thing here.
Yeah.
We just like to shoot off at the mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, but anyway, that's just my little.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I just enjoyed the show sitting in the background. I enjoyed just listening, and that was educational. I don't know if anybody else got anything out of it. I got that numbers was incredible that they sitting, and it builds. I mean, like, wow. So, like if anybody listening want to get some money, hey, they should be calling you, man. They should be talking to you.
I mean, I had the state senator on. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I see that. That was the senator.
The state senator was willing on a Sunday to push his precious time to the side to come help me speak to the people to try to empower them economically.
And you got to remember who the people you're speaking to. You're speaking to us.
Yeah.
And it's bad because the people that's there, they keep saying, "Oh, we can't do nothing. There's nothing here for da." But you have someone here telling them where to do it, where's the money, and how to get it. So you can't blame nobody else. It's like they say, we don't read a book because we hate to read. I mean,
that's just like Osceola. I keep saying I'm a close. It's just like Osceola. And like I say, the city council members down there in Osceola, God is my witness. I got nothing against any of them. But at the end of the day, you got to look at your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue to pay these irate, high electric bills? Or do you want to say, I need to go another direction and make a change? So my thing is, and I hope Osceola's listening, excuse me. They need to get up off the mayor. You hear me? They have a golden opportunity right now. Because see, the mayor don't even get no vote unless you break the tie.
Right.
We had a golden opportunity to say we need to begin to start making change for as taking care of these electrical rate problems, because if we do that, our city can live again. We can regain hopefully some of our population.
Yeah.
Businesses can start coming back. We can keep a grocery store, maybe not one, we should have two. Osceola is big enough where it should have two grocery stores.
You're right.
They struggling trying to get one. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so, but that's what they chose, man. And mark my word, and I mean this here. You know, I don't mean to be mean, but I am not going to put my mouth on the city council no more, no more.
I
And
understand.
you know, I'm done. I mean that's what they want. I mean, I'm always going to be concerned with children
Yeah.
because I got family that live in Osceola.
Right.
All right. I'm always going to be concerned with civil and social justice
Right.
because I live in Osceola. The only difference with both the school and civil and social justice, I'm going to be choosy, or should I say selected, in terms of what cases I want to work and what cases I don't. It used to be a time to where if it was wrong, I addressed it. But now it's time to back up from that because sometimes OCO, you got to have a dog in this fight. If they
Yeah.
don't want to have a dog in this fight, then I'm not going to continue to stick my nose out there and you know get it chopped off. You know, I mean I'm done. You know, I still love them. I'm still going to try to help some of the people down there that I do know. I know I said family, but I do get some dear friends in Osceola.
Right.
And Lord knows, if something was to, you know, they was to come up against them in terms of, let's just say what is police issue or what is some health concern or some housing problem, whatever, all by all means, my friends and my family, oh yeah, I'll reach out and I'll try to do what I can do to help. But other
Right.
than the city at large, at whole, they at the water. I got the horse at the water, but they don't want to drink, so I'm done.
No, they don't want to drink. Definitely understand. And I
Yeah.
thank you, man. Definitely thank you all the way. You know, this is like a real mind blower tonight, though. I love it. You know, I love hearing it. You know, it teaches you a lot just by listening. I hope others learn from it as well. And that Miss Lena Taylor, she can make some changes also. She got a lot of input on this the system and how it's working
Yeah.
against her and others who have family members in the penal system. Again,
Oh,
you know.
very intelligent woman. I must say, very intelligent woman. She cares.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, she gave us a good night, gentlemen. Good night, Mrs. Taylor. Uh, Peace
Yeah.
and blessings to your family, and I hope you're progressing well uh, in terms of what you talked to me about in terms of your, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Hey, man,
go ahead,
get you
man,
some
I'm
rest.
gonna go ahead and get off, man, and like I say, man, hit me up, man, when you want to come on and talk to me about some things, whether it's locally or whether it's something going on in your neck of the woods.
Okay, no, definitely, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. So I want
Yeah.
you to have a good night, all right?
All right now. All
All
right,
right.
so take care, man. Bye bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this time I'm gone. I had to chat with my brother there. He live in Chicago, formerly from Osceola, Farah. That's his name, Farah. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. When my brothers go off and my sisters as well, when they change their name, I said, it's hard enough for me to remember the real name. Now y'all don't want to change the name. And so that's going to be a problem, a struggle. But anyway, you all, I want to say good night to everyone. I thank you all for tuning in, hanging around. Peace and blessing to everyone. May God bless you. May God keep you. Stay safe. The pandemic is still real. It's upon us. And again, I am bubbling happy when it comes to our new president and vice president elect. Let's stay on the wall, y'all. Okay? In terms of voting. When we vote, we win. Again, good night. Peace and love.